All right, let's see if we're live. We're gonna do some more Martial Powers work for the new 2024 Dungeons and Dragons Player's Handbook. We've been working on the power system prior to 2024, creating a martial system to mirror and complement the spellcasting system. My volume sounds fantastic. So I'm going to go ahead and hit social medias real quick, give you my origin story, tell you what we got going on here, and then get to work. I got maybe like an hour and a half today, so we got a little bit of time to play. So my name is Phil Kearney. What's up? I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish online. I've been a dungeon master playing D&D since 1987. I've been a Magic the Gathering enthusiast since like around 95. I've been a freelance illustrator since 99. And I've been creating content on the DMsGuild since 2017. Pretty much when Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica became a setting of Ravnica in the world of D&D. I think we were all hoping that we were going to see a color magic system to replace the 8 schools of magic, so that you could play Magic the Gathering as a role-playing game and feel like Magic the Gathering, but by using the 8 schools of magic and spell slots as is normal for 5e, and just narratively describing the guilds and the world, it just didn't. It wasn't enough. Like what makes Magic the Gathering is the magic system, the 5-color magic mana system. So that's what got me started on the DMsGuild, creating the color mana system. It's called the 5-color mana spell point variant rules, and it is on DMsGuild. So, that was great to be able to create that color dynamic for spellcasters, but it didn't do anything for the martial characters. So, like Rakdos is famous, both Rakdos and Gruul, famous for having berserker barbarians, right? Like ragers, right? And you can't have that. And like a Rakdos massacre girl, for instance, is probably a frenzied berserker, but she's a red-black mana guild, but the barbarian doesn't have any mana, so it's just kind of flavor text, and otherwise you're just a barbarian. So if we can create an alternate magic system that martial powers, like the Book of Nine Swords from 3rd edition, or just simply martial powers from 4th edition, if we can pick that up and put it into 5e and have it mirror but not break spellcasting, then we would have a reason for all characters to have a mana pool, thus a color mana pool, thus playing in a Magic the Gathering setting like Ravnica, Strixhaven, Theros, or anything else that might come up, like the plane shift stuff on DMsGuild, or anything that you imagine for yourself. You'd have a mechanical system to make it really feel like Magic the Gathering, which is what a color magic system does when you assign a mana system point value. If you want to throw a fireball, 3rd level spell, it's red. So if you have 1 point of red mana and the other 2 can be whatever you want, that's 3 mana, cast your fireball, upcast it accordingly. Whenever you take a short or a long rest, however much mana you have, you can devote that mana to different colors. So taking long and short rests benefits any kind of spellcaster, because if they need more green right now and they have too much red, then I can get rid of some red, and maybe I need some blue. Let's toss in some blue in there. We'll make a color palette out of it and cast our magic like Color Spring. So, so there it is. So on the martial side, this is a Loxodon chasing some Azorius guards. That was the art that I shared today for announcing that we're live. So here's my super bundle. Here's the color mana spell point variant rules. If you saw me on the X Twitter platform, I'm at Phil Kearney. You can follow me there for like the newest book that I was a part of in a collaborative project, Subclasses Revivified. All 69 subclasses not published in 2024 from 2014. I did all the monks. I did all the monks here on stream. So if you want to go back like 10 episodes to the Forsaken Monk series, that's me building the subclasses for this book, and they're all, it's good stuff. So I recommend you check it out. Of course, I'm a mana enthusiast, so I just wish the whole book was made out of mana, but I'll do that myself eventually. But yeah, coupons, discounts, images, and stuff like that, early look-sees, the things I got going on here on the X Twitter platform, at Phil Kearney. If you're watching us here on YouTube, I'm glad that you are. Thanks. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications of when we're live in the future. Here's the entire playlist of all 171 episodes to date. And if you want to read along as we continue to create today, this is my Patreon. I'd love to have your support, but I'll earn it perhaps by showing you this document. You can access this before you member, but it's read-only for you. But it's the entire document for the entire system with all of the classes and subclasses for 2024 that are in the Player's Handbook. It's all been updated. We're just about finishing everything updated for 2024. The language is still sloppy, but again, this is just an alpha draft. It's not even, we haven't even cleaned it up for like an editing pass and then layouts and stuff. So this is far from the final document, but it's read only. Check it out. And as you can see, it's the same document that I'm actually going to edit today as we work. And what we're going to work on today is over the past few weeks, well, I mean, over the past year, we developed 180 some odd different powers that either use or don't use. There's like 80 cantrips. There's like 63 cantrips and 115 disciplines, exploits, modified die rolls, and actions. Maneuvers are spell-like effects that you can use on an action or a bonus action. Do it twice in the same turn if you want. Strikes are on-hit effects that when you hit with a weapon, you can spend mana to basically Divine Smite, 2014 style, and with the amount of mana you spend, create a kicker effect that you've learned. Reactions are something happens, use a reaction, either during your turn or somebody else's, depending on how many reactions you have, based on the action economy that you choose for your character. And then the final set is sustained powers, which are like concentration buff effects, like haste or blur or like mirror image, things like that, but not those spells specifically, but that same thing. Are self-buff effects that don't require concentration. Once you turn them on, they stay on until you take a long rest or become incapacitated. But you can stack them. So at 17th level, as a half-casting character, this progression is on the half-casting scale. Starts at level 1 through 20. By the time you get to level 17, you can have 5 ranks of power so you can spend like 5 points of mana at a time if you want to on upcasting stuff, or you can have a total of 5 mana tapped to sustain 5 levels worth of effects. Like for example, Blind Sense is 1 mana. You can have Lycanthropy for 1 mana. You can have Omnilinguist, speak to anything that has a language for 1 mana. 2 mana stuff you can do with that is like giant size, hence our guest painting of the massive Loxodon. 3rd rank stuff like that is like Celerity, which is another word for haste, but you don't get it confused with haste. And 4th, indestructible, like you have resistance to all damage, and as a reaction, you can spend 2 mana and become immune to 1 type of damage until the end of the turn, or rather until the beginning of your next turn. And you only go up to 4th rank. So there you go. And then we have the 63 meta powers. Weapon masteries are combat masteries. Combat masteries is the term that we give for weapon masteries that you prepare so that you can use them on any weapon you're proficient with. Just like a warrior can, at 13th level, a fighter at 13th level can have like push, trip, and topple. No, it's topple, push, and Vex. I'm not sure what the 3rd one is, but they have a 3rd thing that they can just automatically use those masteries on any weapon they're proficient with, which tells us that you can do that at any level if you want to. Just do it. So we have 13 masteries total. The one with asterisks are already existing on weapons, and these others are just things that you can now just do, like step. Like when you hit with an attack, you can take a 5-foot step. So if you've got 4 attacks, you hit with all of them, and you're using a step master, you can get an extra 20 feet of movement, coordinating, like weaving between enemies. So, and if you are proficient with a weapon using this system, if you're a martial character, you automatically get to use the mastery. that the weapon has. So if you're proficient with the weapon, you can use the mastery with that weapon. And then you can prepare additional masteries. So like if there's that one weapon that you love, you can use its weapon mastery automatically. And then you, as cantrips, you can prepare a slew of these combat masteries. Instead of combat masteries, you could prepare feats. So here's 40 feats. You don't get the ability score bonus with it, but you also don't have the prerequisite. So you can take a stack of feats at first, second, third level. And by the time you get to fourth level, you can actually use your ASI bonus to increase your stats, like a wizard would do. And then there's also damage. So at first level, here's the types of damage that you can just do. It's magic. It's a prepared power or like a cantrip effect that you've prepared as though a spellcaster would like prepare acid spray. You can now just like have acid damage when you hit with weapon or lightning or whatever. And at fifth level, you can have advanced damage types. Everyone gets force damage at fifth level, around there anyway. So yeah, you can prepare that as well as necrotic, psychic, radiant, thunder. And thunder's fifth instead of first because poison is something that lots of creatures are resistant to, and virtually no creatures are resistant to thunder. So this was in relative power of utility in the game, which is what we ranked them as basic or advanced. Plus, poisonous frogs and stuff. It kind of just makes sense here. So there you go. So we have all these things built out, and we have the 20 level scaffold for the barbarian. If the feature, if you can't use the feature because of conflicts with the power system, it's removed from your class feature list. If it's on the class feature list, but it's not listed down here, it works as presented in the player's handbook, no changes. If it's listed here and it's down here, that means it's either new, and here's all of the information you need about it, or it's something that existed in the player's handbook, but we modified it, so now it's a variant or an alternate class feature. And we describe what the changes are. Every subclass gets a stack of 10 powers, bonus powers, just like a spellcaster. When they take a subclass, they get an extra 10 spells on top of the 30 or 27 or whatever number of spells they normally get as well. So again, the system is designed to give martial characters a mana source that's equal to the mana source that spellcasters use, but different, but equal, just different, in different mechanical ways that we've talked about over 170 episodes. But another way to keep pace with the spellcasters is to have the same breadth of options every level or every long rest that the spellcasters do. Why are spellcasters so much more powerful than marshals? Because many of them can completely adapt their capabilities every day based on the amount of resources they have and what they think they're going to need today in the adventure. So they completely can't change their kit of powers as characters and become something completely different the next day if they want to adapt. Meanwhile, the marshal is stuck as they are, and they're the ones that have to adapt. You have to adapt your gameplay and your decisions to meet the day instead of change out your kit of abilities. Since we're not going to get wizards to take it back and make casters go with the same depth of regret and choice and decision making that marshals have to have, then the only logical answer is to give marshals the same level of diversity and options on a daily or level basis that spellcasters do. So giving them the extra 10 powers is one of those ways. Hey, we have a guest. What's up? 1, 2, 3, 4. Uchi, what's up? Oh, you're playing Mothership. Oh, right on, man. Appreciate that. Very, very thank you. I'm going since it's muted. Thank you. We'll do it that way. Yeah, okay, so we have the subclasses that each get bonus powers. We made changes to the subclasses to work with the power system and the new class features that we provided. Of course, again, they all have half casting progression. Rage absolutely is, you have rage, great. But we did this for Barbarian, the Fighter, the Monk, the Rogue, as well as the Paladin and Ranger are half casters. So they can mix powers and spells together freely as they want. When they prepare their spells, they can choose powers instead. Obviously, if you're a paladin and you want to use the power system, replace the smite spells, get rid of those and use our strikes instead because our strikes are better. they're built around 2014 mechanics, not bonus action mechanics. So, but there is a way to be able to ramp your damage once per round using your bonus action, which we talked about 5 episodes ago, using the empowered actions. Yeah, so, okay, great. So just like all of these subclasses have these kits of power, right? So yeah, let's like go down to the Ranger. Like the Beastmaster here, like the Beastmaster doesn't get spells in 2024 Player's Handbook, but we have the power system, and so the Beastmaster has a whole bunch of stuff that's like animal or synergy, like working with a partner. All of its powers that you get for free are these sort of things. So let's see. So just like subclasses get lists of powers, so too do monsters. So let's go down to what we're doing with monsters. When you want to make monsters, like you've got goblins, how do you make goblins interesting? One way to make goblins interesting is to have different different classes of goblins that the team is going to face, like shield bearers and stone tossers and shamans. So like those might be the 3 types of goblins that are in a tribe that you're in battle with. So you can add, getting down to creatures using, so you can add a kit of powers based on what their CR is and what their role is using the 4E mechanics. So here's the roles: artillery, brute, controller, lurker, skirmisher, soldier, and solo, which we went over last session, and we can continue. I can look at each one of them in spot here today with you too. But you choose the role of the monster. So like in this goblin example, we might have like a line of soldiers. The stone tossers are artillery, and maybe the shaman is a controller. So we have these soldiers as the front line are synergizing abilities, working together to prevent the characters from breaching the front line, so that the artillery goblins can keep raining stones, like empowered with like magic stones onto the characters to damage them, while the shaman controller is trying to steal action economy, counter the casters, or further impede or the character's progress, or buff the soldiers on the front line to make them more effective at keeping the characters from breaching the line. Man, that water tastes good. So, structure, CR, up to 1, up to 5, up to 9, up to 13, up to 14. Effective character level of 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. That's how they progress. The number of powers that a creature knows as they increase in rank. It also determines the highest rank power that they can know when you build the creature. And the rank also determines how many dice they throw when the power they use throws dice. Like the smite power, like if they used, I don't know, let's say you were fighting a CR16 inevitable construct from the plane of law. And they're angry that you keep resurrecting people, so they decided to put some karmic smite onto you. So when the inevitable hits you, maybe it has a banishing smite power, and it's going to be a CR 16, so it's a 5th rank creature. So when it hits you with its weapon attack, maybe it's a Lance of Justice, normally does 3d10 plus 12 damage, but once per round it can use the banishing smite, and it can ramp it up an additional 5d12 damage. And you get banished, and you stay banished until your character can succeed on a charisma saving throw. Something like that, something nasty like that. That's the kind of stuff that you can do. But at like first level, you get 2 powers, and you're CR1, so you're only 1st rank, which means you're going to only be rolling 1d4. So there's not really much point in it unless there's some sort of flavor involved with it. Like the artillery that we made, they gain the feats of crossbow expert and sharpshooter. Those are both super useful feats for any archer or artillery type character to have, so it made sense. And then at 2nd rank, we added in range assault for sustaining powers, so that you can have better damage with your. So your range assault can upgrade from a D4 to a D6, And because ranged weapon attacks uses a lower die than what you normally would use because it's ranged, it's more powerful, so it deals less damage. Precise attack, yeah, so you just continue increasing the amount of stuff and power as you gain more powers. Like precise attack, you can always use, or rather, it's unless it says otherwise, you can use something once around. So like precise attack ignores cover and gives you a bonus to, like if we're a 3rd rank archer, you'd roll 3 8-sided dice and you'd keep the best D8 and add that to your attack roll, plus get advantage and ignore any cover. You can do that once per round. So like if you have an archer that can attack 3 times per round because multi-attack, then once per round they're really going to be able to nail you. Fourth, with including the multi-attack, double strike allows them a bonus action to attack 2 more times. And obviously they can only do that once per round because of bonus action. But adding this onto like a solo boss that has a number of actions equal to the number of people that it's fighting plus its own action, it can just drop in double strike anytime that it wants. So if it's going to hit you, it's just constantly double tapping you, tap, 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 tap with stuff. And then here, like bursting strike, that does area of effect damage with the amount of damage that it does. So this is just a really good, like hitting more often. So it starts off with just good skill. And then it gets to a place where it's worthy damage. Now they're pretty much guaranteed to be able to hit you occasionally. And now they can pepper in just a shitload of shots on you. And now when they hit you, they do area of effect damage. So that's thick. There's a lot of cool stuff like this artillery type monster in a generic sort of way just really just kind of ramps up what it can do. But you can build a unique kit for each monster. Like a minion skeleton is 1st rank, so it only has 2 powers, right? So in this instance, we gave him as a bonus action. It can take the dash, dodge, and disengage action. Or as a bonus action, the skeleton can make another attack. These are skeletons that normally like move kind of slowly, make an attack, and then they're done. But if you wanted to just put a little pepper on it, It's got the fast movement, and it's making good attacks. Boss fight ogre. He's a brute. We're making him specifically have extra reach. When he hits you, he can automatically put you into a grapple. And he's only CR2, so he has 3 powers in total. So his 2nd rank, he has grappling strike. So when he hits you with an unarmed attack or a weapon, he automatically grapples and starts dealing damage to you. So, and then you got a T-Rex. Like, yeah, you can do this literally. Like, these are both brute. Like, this is a brute, but this brute is built differently than the generic brute up above, because each creature can have a number of powers layered into them thematically based on what kind of creature they are, what their action economy normally is used with, or how they normally use their action economy, and just themes that you want for the adventure. It's easy for you just to slap on some cool powers, and we can provide umpteen zillion examples of them. So that's fun. That's something fun we're going to do. So right now, when we're working through this, we finished the artillerist, we finished the brute, and we built 2 kits for control. We built a melee control, and we built a ranged control. So the melee control has the sentinel feat in close quarter combat, which allows you to basically grapple for free and gain an ability. You can roll power dice to increase the DC of your grappling DC, or gain a bonus to get out of grapples, so you're really good at grappling. And then you get restraining strike, which is when I hit you, I automatically restrain you. Extended reach allows me to reach further. That was earlier on the ogre because the ogre was large, and I don't necessarily know the size of this guy, but extended reach allows you to have a wider reach with your sentinel feat. And provoking strike, when you hit, the target has to attack you unless they succeed an intelligence saving throw. And then sleeper hold is if I can grapple you, I can use a bonus action to put you to sleep. If you take damage, you wake up again. But that damage will be a crit because you're asleep. So it's nasty. So basically every other round it can crit. One round it can put you to sleep, and then it can follow up with a crit. You wake up, and then it can rinse repeat. A ranged controller, on the other hand, anything within 60 feet, you can target to distract, and everyone will then have advantage to attack you. You can shunt, which is push a number of targets away from you, 10 feet per mana. Lethargy takes away your action economy. Daunting Presence makes things afraid of you. Anchor prevents things from moving, teleporting, or shifting planes. At a really high level, it makes sense it would be up here. Like, it just shuts down Misty Hop, right? Or like Barbarian Tree Stride. Telekinetic Bubble creates an odorless, resilient sphere that you have to make a dexterity saving throw to get out of. So, like, if that monk is putting down too much stun, just bubble him for a moment. Just toss him into a bubble and push him away. When he's able to get out of the bubble, he can become a threat again. If your characters are smart, once they get to higher levels, they're going to take some exploits that allow you to ramp your saving throw results. It'll cost you some mana to throw some extra dice, but if you absolutely got to get the fuck out of a bubble, it might be worth 3 or 4 points to throw on top of that to guarantee that you pop that bubble. So there's all that. That's a controller. So that's where we're continuing from here. The Lurker is a stealth attacker and ambushes people. So the controller disrupts hero actions, disrupts actions, and controls areas of the battlefield. Back at hit points, hitting hard. Points. Harass at a distance. Harass with ranged attacks. There we go. Now I'm listening. Hey, right on, Uchi. Welcome back, my guy. Yeah, okay, so I just got finished catching up everybody and walking through artillery and the brute and controller. So we are starting in now on the Lurker. How'd the game go? Lurker, stealth attacker, and ambushes. Let's just say stealth ambush. So for Lurker, I can do a melee and ranged. My mouse does not. I've been using my Wacom tablet basically as a mouse pad lately, and turns out my mouse absolutely. I have a wireless mouse, and it absolutely hates being on the surface of the Wacom tablet. I wonder if their signals are competing somehow. So yeah, I think a Lurker. It's a sniper, right? It's either a sniper or it's a stabby assassin, right? So what I think we should do for the Lurker is go with those two formats: melee Lurker and ranged Lurker. I bet we can build that something. Ranged Lurker's probably going to have some similar powers as the melee Lurker, like for example, exploit 4, assassination, sassy assassin. Let's go to here. We have the ship we're salvaging, returning home, being chased by me. Oh, that sounds that sounds on point. Highly no batted eyelash here. That you're trying to take a wrecked ship home on Mothership. Being chased by mutants, yeah, sounds about right. Let's go down to exploit 4. There it is. Assassinating damage. When you deal damage with a weapon attack to a target that has yet to act in combat or is unaware of your attack, you deal maximum damage, including any additional damage dice such as sneak attack or when channeling a strike power. Assassinating damage. So it doesn't guarantee you a crit. It doesn't increase the damage that you would do. It just guarantees you. It's just maximized. It's like maximized spell. It costs you 4 mana to use it, and it just caps out your probability curve. You have to spend mana, but as an exploit, so you can stack mana spins on it. Like you can spend 5 mana to ramp up your damage an extra 50 damage with this. Or you can wait, or you can hold on to assassinating damage and wait until you crit. And then go all in. 5 points of mana, and I'm going to dump assassinating damage on top of it. And I'm going to sneak attack as a rogue. So I'm doing my 60-10 as a 19th level rogue. I'm going to do 5 dice of d10 damage. So that's going to be 60. That's 110. And then I'm going to put 4 points on top of it for assassinating. That's going to be 220 damage that I'll be able to do. But it's going to cost me 9 mana to do it. And my character only has, at 19th level, 19 mana per short rest. So I can pop all of that. I can pop 220 damage. Oh, and then, if I were to crit as a rogue in that circumstance, we'd be able to take up to 220. Just with assassinating by itself, it would automatically pop it to 110. But then, then you get then if you happen to crit, that's when it'd be great to do, like, to dump in that extra 9 points of mana. So, roll the attack. No, they don't. No, you make the attack. You make the attack roll. It's just like Paladin Smite 2014. If you hit, you decide if you want to spend the mana at that time. So that's an exploit, and the exploit modifies the damage. So the exploit gets triggered. Oh, I see what you're asking. Do they have to roll before they know? Do they have to add on the max damage before they roll? Technically, no. It happens while they make their. It says when you deal damage with weapon attack that is yet to act in combat or where you deal maximum damage, including any additional damage dice. Good point, though. You can choose to use this after you roll damage. There, I see what you're asking. That's a great question. Maybe that should just be a ground rule, like a default rule up top that is only overridden when mentioned. That it's automatically assumed that you can use it before or after the die. There's too many variables: the die roll, what type of die roll, or the action, or the resolution, or. It's probably best just to make sure that we point out whether you can use it before or after whatever circumstances involved with it. It's a good idea in general. Good idea in general. So assassinating damage, that's just gonna be on both of these dudes. And it only works in the first round, and they can't take it in a turn yet, so it is limited circumstances. But if you have a high initiative order turnover, like if you do a lot of initiative, then there's more and more opportunities to make use of it. First strike. I think first strike is 3rd rank, though. Yeah, the first strike but it's really, really good, so we should toss that on. First strike. First strike allows you, when you roll initiative, instead of rolling initiative, you make it an attack roll. And that attack roll counts as your initiative count. And if it hits, you deal damage, and you can channel a power with it as well. So it only works when you roll initiative in combat, and it costs you 3 mana to do it. On top of anything else, that, like any other damage or anything else that you might want to stack on top of it. But first strike is useful for both of these dudes. Both ranged and melee, so I'm going to give it to both of them. I think the difference that we're going to see here is that we're going to go with a sniper. For the ranged. And go with a poison focus for the melee. Let's see. God, first strike is so good. Precise attack is good. for the ranged lurker, because you can get rid of that cover, and you get a huge stack on bonus. Precise attack, is that what it is? Yeah. That's exploit 2. No? Yes. So we'll have some diversity there. We'll have some diversity here. Okay, so I think as a poisoner, abundant step ain't bad for oh god, yeah, we're gonna keep track of abundant step for the skirmisher for fucking sure, man, because it just gets sick at higher levels. Yeah, quiet kill. Oh, good point. Subtle channeling. Fucking yes. Silent. Yes, absolutely. Subtle channeling. When you channel a power, there's no visual evidence you are the source. So the way that powers work, we have it up above. Basically, since there's no spell components of any sort, there's no somatics, there's no verbal components. There's just your will to activate the power. So what that does, so that there's visual, so that there's some sort of narrative information that something is happening. When a character uses power, they have some sort of a visual effect on them, whether it's a glow or like a flare of fire, or like soot shakes off of them or something. Like there's some obvious visual evidence that you are channeling power. And when a creature is targeted by a power, they always know they're being targeted by a power. They might not know necessarily what the power was. They might not realize it until after the power is over, but they will always know something was happening here involving magic. I can feel it. And so if you see somebody who's using magic and you can feel that there's magic happening on you, you automatically connect one and the other. But if you can suppress that you are the source of magic and someone can feel that they're being affected by magic, you aren't automatically busted. So like a sniper that is using precise attack to hit you with a ranged attack, they aren't going to sense that they're being sniped. Or rather, they'll sense that they're being sniped, but there won't be any obvious flare of magic from the bushes indicating that, you know, that this is where your stalker is at, right? So subtle channeling is incredibly important for a sniper. That's perfect. And it's a first rank exploit, so that it's always on, so they can use it. It's not always on. Sorry, it's an exploit. It's a per use thing. Although I could see making subtle channeling. Maybe, oh God, maybe it would be better off as a sustained effect. Turn this on and there's absolutely no evidence, as opposed to spend 1 point. Yeah, I think subtle channeling would be far more beneficial if it became a sustained power. I just convinced myself. So that's going to drop this down to 6 exploits. 6, 4, 3, 2. 6, 4, 3, 2. Okay. And that's going to add a sustained power. That just, yeah, the more I say that, the more obvious it is. But this is why we go over these things like a billion times, because we want to make sure everything just feels, yeah, right next to the rogue stance. Isn't that just fucking classic? Nice. Yeah, I like any kind of like a bard, I could see easily picking that up. Any kind of assassin type stealth character, or an infiltrator, like any Dimir character is always going to want to have subtle channeling active. God, yeah, that as a sustained power just makes so much fucking sense. I am thrilled. This is a good day. This has been a very good day. Do I already have language that establishes you can't exceed your max channel limit unless a power or ability specifies otherwise. I'll double check that. I don't want to look it up right now. Ah, I am severely geeked out over that subtle channeling. And precise attack. Okay, so maybe there's some, let's look for some like high level shit that's gonna say, I'm a sniper. Swift shot as an action, you can make a ranged attack against any number of creatures within 10 feet of a point that you can see within range of your weapon. You must have ammunition for each target as normal, and you make a separate attack roll for each target. You can choose to channel strikes for each target hit. Attacks made this way cannot be used to generate temporary mana. Swift shot as an action, you can make a ranged attack against any number of creatures within 10 feet of a point you can see within your weapon's range. That doesn't feel like a sustained effect. That feels like a maneuver. And I'm okay with it being a 4th rank maneuver. Damn, tootin'. Ooh, and we have the space for it. What was this thing called? Swift shot. Telekinetic bubble. Wave of terror. But here's the kicker. If we make it a maneuver, you can use it as an action and as a bonus action twice in the same round if you want to. So you can do this twice. You could make it since it's a maneuver, you can set it up as a reaction by holding your action. And technically a bonus action is an action, so you could do this on your action. You could hold your bonus action to do it again as a reaction when, like, say, that group of guards breaks through the door. I'm going to hold my attack to do a it's called Swift Shot, but I feel like it should be called something else. Is Rain of Arrows still a term? Have of allows. What the fuck is have of allows? I am now incredibly interested in finding out what have of allows means. What the fuck? Dude, D&D Beyond, go home. You are drunk. Rain of Arrows. Race of Arrows. Yeah, right. Hail of Thorns. A rain of thorns that sprouts from your ranged weapon or ammunition. Oh wait, that's Legacy. Is it in the new one? Oh no, that's right. Hail of Thorns. Okay, first level. As you hit the creature, the spell creates a rain of thorns that sprouts from your ranged weapon or ammunition. The target of the attack and each creature within 5 feet of it must make a dexterity saving throw or take damage. Saving throw, small range, first level. Thank you. Third rank power for us, 10 feet, full damage, no saves. And a smoother, the damage increases by 1 for each spell level. Yeah, same progression for us. And that's for Rangers. Okay, so Hail of Thorns. How about what do we call this? Oh, wait a second. You can... Oh, no, it is... Swift Shot is appropriate. You can make a ranged attack against any number of creatures within 10 feet of point. You have to have the ammunition for each target as normal. There you go. So Swift Shot... Swift Shot's good enough. It works. Thanks, Fishy. I appreciate that. It's very, very kind. It's very, very kind. You choose the channel strikes for each target hit. Attacks made. I'm out of water. Just capped my coffee. I'm going to put some ice in a cup and pour water into it. I will be right back. Yeah, Swift Shot, that works. That's a cool ability. So yeah, adding that at 4th level. No, yeah, I think that makes sense for a lurker. And you can make a separate. You can use a strike attack on everyone you hit. God damn. That's going to be expensive, but you can do it. So I think that's fair and legit. But almost done. Stem target. How are we doing on time? 6:15. All right, I still got 40 minutes, and I'll be done. All right. I don't know if that was audible. I'll go back and see if I was heard or not. Cue Jeopardy music. So yeah, Swift Shot. I'm thinking Swift Shot's a decent idea for a ranged lurker because it's not necessarily a single shot. It's not necessarily needing to be a single target damage. Being able to just like snipe a whole bunch of people at the same time. That's a great idea. So yeah. Let's go with Swift Shot. Swift Shot is maneuver 4. So it's now 26 maneuvers. And we gotta go back down here and fick. If I decide to build my own 5th edition clone, I would take all of the spells in the player's handbook and boil them down to be this simple. So you could have, and like just a single page could cover like all of your fucking spells for your wizard. Just make it very, very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. All right, back on track. God, yeah, that feels... Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Technically, we're only allowed to use these things once per round, once per turn. So I could do clever things like the ready to action to have a second Swift Shot, so that we can set these things up to have multiple actions. Good. Okay, so now looking at the poisoner side of things, let's look for some high-level terrifying shit. I want poisoner, either resistance, blind, cliff, close, crouch, dire, empowered, extended reach, fast, instant skill, Lycanthropy, ranged assault. Ah, fuck. Ranged assault. Oh, there. Oh yeah, subtle channeling. It'd be nice. It would be nice to fit ranged assault in here for the bonus, but I'm okay with him having a lesser die. I'm okay with it. Oh, rogue stance. God, that's such an obvious one. Absolutely. Sustain power 1. And subtle channeling now. Sustain power 1. Like I only got 1, 4. Like sustain. Like first strike is sus 3. It's not sus 3. First strike is exploit. Thank you. So I only have 1 rank of sustained powers in this whole kit. And here we have sustained 1 at first. That's fine. Channeling sustained 1 at first. I just love how good the narrative flavor of these low level sustained powers are. They're just such fucking cool things. So let's go find something. I know there's some poison shit around here. What is it? What was it? Did I get rid of it? Huh. When you channel this power, choose a creature you can see. You always know which direction the chosen creature is while it remains on the same plane of existence as you. In addition, when you make a melee attack against the chosen creature, you deal 1 additional power die of damage. You know, castigation on a lurker is not a horrible idea. Let's color me intrigued with that one. Second rank, it's expensive, but that might be something worth being up at the upper levels. Celerity is not bad. Jesus, a lot of this stuff is good. Oh, maneuver, vanish. Vanish. You become invisible until the beginning of your next turn. Nothing can cancel it. You just become invisible until the beginning of your next turn. Per fucking fact. Wow. That's really, really good. That's a really good idea for most rogues, honestly. Now we need a 4th rank something sweet. Got a bunch of goddamn rogues just make out such madness with this system. All of it's just I geek out on it so bad. I do. It's just so freaking cool. Let's see. What is high rank? A high level. Maybe I need maybe as a lurker. Maybe I should have a reaction. At 4th rank, it could be literally anything. So let's find a cool reaction. Oof, oh man, anticipate's not bad. As a reaction to when a creature within range of your weapon attack that you can see makes an attack, before they roll, you make an opportunity attack. This could fuck up their attack. This is great. As a love reposition, as a reaction to when a creature moves towards you, you can move 10 feet. In any direction, towards them or away from it, doesn't matter. You can just move 10 feet. Someone moves towards you, 10 feet. That's what you call anti-charge tactics. Because a charge, you have to move in a straight line towards your opponent. So if you move 10 feet off line, they can't reach you anymore, so you fuck up their charge. It's so niche, but God, can you imagine having that prepped? Like if you know you're going to be fighting like a horseman or centaurs or something that obviously has some sort of a trample or a charge feature. It's like, yeah, just reposition. It's so awesome. Oh, Curse of Exposure has a reaction to when you see a creature within range taking damage. If it has resistance, it loses this property. Alternatively, if the creature is immune to damage, it instead has resistance. This effect ends immediately after the creature takes damage. So that is a reaction. I need to look up the Poisoner feat again, because I know that the Poisoner is nasty with its poison, and we gave them Poisoner at first level. So, Poisoner. That's a feat, isn't it? Am I crazy? Fuck you. It is. D&D Beyond, you're drunk. Go home. You're so drunk. When you make a damage roll that deals poison damage, it ignores resistance to poison damage. So this ignores resistance, but we have Curse of Exposure. As a reaction to when you see a creature within range taking damage, if it has resistance, it loses this property. Alternatively, if the creature is immune to the damage, it instead has resistance. So if you're fighting something that's immune to poison, you use Curse of Exposure on it. It is now only resistant to that poison, which you can then use the Poisoner feats to make that resistance ignored. So you can kill something immune to poison with poison if you have the Poisoner feat and you have Curse of Exposure. Those two things together is like chocolate and peanut butter, dude. So we gotta take it. Curse of Exposure. It's third, right? Yeah, that's a 9th level thing. That's the kind of thing that I expect people to be able to do around 9th level. Be able to say, fuck you, you're going to take damage. Nice. That was fun to build. So we have melee control, range control, melee lurker, ranged lurker. And again, anyone out there, Uchi, anyone else, if you have a different kit that you think beats these, you think is a better representation for what this flavor is, you are most welcome to join my Discord channel and throw down ideas. My Discord, for those interested, is right here in my YouTube link here, Discord community, right here. Be welcome to jump in and put things down. Just if you post on my website, it's basically, I consider it's a gift that you're giving me to use. So be forewarned. Okay, so what did we have? We had Crouching Stance, which was a means of gaining advantage on stealth while prone and not being hindered in movement. Vanish, Precise Attack. Vanish here. Precise Attack here. First Strike, Assassinating Damage. Yep, we picked up all those things. Then that made sense. We just added a little bit more diversity based on the type of weapons. I don't think Skirmish needs to have a differentiation, needs a difference, needs to differentiate about, sorry, let me clarify while it's on my mind. If you're in my martial powers strand and you're providing information and like thoughts about martial powers, it's assumed that you're giving those things for me to put into the martial powers book. But if you're like in the homebrew critique area, and you're providing your own homebrew ideas, like this is my class I'm playing with, or here's a spell that I'm looking at. I'm not saying I'm going to steal that from you. I'm just saying if you come into my Discord and you go specifically like to my Spelljammer mechanics or my 5-color mana mechanics or the martial power mechanics or spell point warlocks or Theurgy, if you like go into one of these subcategories, it's like, hey, here's some mechanical ideas I had about this stuff. That is basically saying I am offering these things for you to use. If that is the case, I like to include people's names and credits when I build books, especially if they help me playtest. So keep that stuff in mind. I just wanted to point that out. Like if you post, hey, here's homebrew I'm making. See, the thing is like if somebody starts making homebrew for a book that I've been streaming that isn't even published yet, that could be considered scalping or poaching. Right? It's poaching, and it's kind of frowned on in the streaming industry, design stream industry, for people to do that. Which is why you differentiate those sort of things. Like, if you want to share in the experience of creating stuff, you're basically giving me what you're creating, because you could wait for the book to be finished and then start riffing off of it. So it's basically like a dibs sort of respect thing. Anyway, now I feel like I'm making it weird. 1, 2, blank. 1, 2, blimp. So we got archery, artillery. Artillery is obviously going to be ranged. Brute is obviously going to be melee. Controller could be either. Lurker could be either. Skirmish, to me, it feels like skirmish is supposed to be melee. Though I could see skirmishing with ranged weapons. I'm going to build it around the assumption of melee. So I'm going to come up here and grab this. Fucking lifesteal. God, that brute is so tough. Okay, so the brute, just to look at that again, because I hadn't gone over it specifically today. Brute, first level, life stealing strike. Basically, the amount of damage that you deal with your power dice is the amount of temporary hit points you get. Period. And when you hit again, if you replace it, great. At first level, it's not very impressive. It's only going to be a D4. Then it becomes 2D6. Then it becomes 3D8. Then it becomes 4D10. Then it becomes 5D12. Each round, when it hits something, it does this extra damage, and that extra damage becomes its own hit point shield. So, brute, bag of hit points. Yeah, like take a hill giant with like 120 hit points, and then give it a floating buff. It would be second rank. I think hill giant's like CR8, so it would be an extra 2d6. Like it has 120 hit points and 2d6 extra hit points per round whenever it hits. So like that eliminates an attack. So that's good meat shielding. Roll up the hits. This allows you as a reaction to reduce any attack against you. You can have the damage after you find out what the damage is. Adaptive resistance, it allows you to gain resistance to any type of damage, basically 1 per sustained. Power shield increases your armor class. At 4th rank, it would increase it by 5. And then resilient save, as an exploit, you basically get to roll power dice and add them to your saving throw bonus. As a saving throw bonus. So at 5th rank, it'd be 5d12. Take the best 12 result and add it to your saving throw. You can do that once per turn. That's how these things are framed. Unless it says otherwise, each discipline can be used once per turn, which means on other people's turns. Like if I hit you with a spell, I would then be able to use the resilient save. And then when it's your turn and you hit me with the effect, I can use resilient save again, because I can use it once per turn, including only once on my own. So these things can get a little ridiculous, especially if you start stacking up reactions like lair actions and stuff like that. These are different turns. Like a solo boss can basically do this every time you take a turn. A solo boss could use all of this shit. It's like that solo boss is now an incredibly complicated monster that can probably solo a whole team. Like how are you gonna, like if you're finding a beholder that has a life stealing strike on one of its eye beams, it's a CR10 creature, so it's going to be that's 4th rank. Jesus, that's 4d10. So it hits you with a disintegration beam. Whether you survive or not, it's going to get a hit point shield of an extra 4d10 hit points. It's going to be really difficult to bring bringing that beholder down is going to be tough. I'm geeking out again. let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what we're doing. I was looking at the brute. I just want to walk through. That's the only one we hadn't walked through today. But God, what a monster! Like its armor class is going to be, by the time he gets that, armor class is going to be +5 basically permanently. Half damage on almost everything. Resistances on a bunch of stuff, and gives itself a hit point shield on top of whatever normal damage it would do. And however many hit points it would have. Like that brute is like a brute. And God, just at any strike, just automatically increases just the deadliness of any encounter that you have. So skirmish, let's see. Well, I mean, rogue stance makes a lot of sense for skirmish because it gives you action economy. It allows you to dash as a bonus action, and we were going to use abundant step, which is an exploit. So let's just add those things. Abundant step, you can channel this exploit as part of your move action. You gain a fly speed equal to your walking speed until the end of your turn. If you do not end your turn on a surface or liquid that can support you, you fall as normal. So that's like some Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon stuff. And then as a kicker cost, it only costs 1 to turn this on. And when you do, if you spend an extra 3 points, you can triple your speed. If you spend an extra point when you turn this on, like it doesn't make you channel 5 points. Like the only sustained power you can have is 5 to quadruple your speed. And they're just gonna make you pay it once, basically as like an injection of like a nitro boost in your engine, because it's an exploit. It only lasts 1 round. So 1 point, it's going to be 2 points for the round, or yeah, it'd be 5 and 1. It'd be 6 points for a single round for you to move 4 times your normal speed, and quadruple your flight speed. So as part of a move action, whether your move action or bonus allows you to move more. I think bonus actually I think the dash action actually increases your move speed. Let's double check that real quick. I don't know how they parse the language now, so it might not be nearly as fucking awesome as it was in 2014. Let's get through. Which free rolls? Huh? Which free rolls? There we All right, let's risk it. Oh, it's in the rules glossary. Isn't that cute? That's wonderful. Dash. Action. When you take the dash action, you gain extra movement for the current turn. The increase equals your speed after applying any modifiers. With a speed of 30, for example, you can move up to 60 feet on your turn if you dash. If your speed of 30 is reduced to 15, you can move up to 30 feet this turn if you dash. If you have a special speed such as fly speed or swim speed, you can use that speed instead of your speed when you take this action. You choose which speed to use each time you take it. See also the speed. So yes, this would qualify, because what's going to happen is you're going to use your move speed, and you know you're going to end flying at the end of your movement and either fall or not. So you're either going to have to maneuver yourself so you're going to land someplace and not take damage, or you're going to make sure you use a dash action somewhere to extend your flight range. That makes sense to me. So yeah, abundant step at first. That's fucking awesome. And rogue stance is sus1. And just for the unindoctrinated, the rogue's stance is, while this power is sustained, you can use a bonus action to dash, disengage, or dodge instead of hide. Let's see, what's some other cool skirmishy stuff? I think we should do some movement speed, some movement-based attacks. So let's go into our exploits and use Overrun. When you channel this exploit as part of a dash action, you can move through a number of 5-foot square spaces occupied by creatures equal to the mana channel. You can move through a number of 5-foot square spaces occupied by creatures equal to the mana channeled. So it'll only be 1 square at first rank. It'll be 5 squares at 5th. Creatures occupying space that you move through this way takes 1 power die of force damage for each mana channeled. If you end your turn in a space occupied by another creature, you instead end your turn in the most recent unoccupied space that you move through during your turn without dealing any damage to the creature. Creatures can only take damage this way once each turn. So if I spend 5 mana, I have 25. 5. I'll be doing 5d10 damage to each creature that I can move through the space of during my dash action. As part of a dash action, you can move. I should actually put that down as when you channel this exploit as part of movement, as part of your movement. During your turn, you can move through a number of... When you channel this exploit while moving during your turn. Nope, just while moving. Or how about while using movement? While using your movement. As opposed to forced movement. Which would mean I could, if I get punted someplace, I could turn this on and just burn through people as I fly by. If you jump and you want to use your movement that way, that's fine. But like for example, that reposition, that 10-foot movement as a reaction to somebody moving towards you, what I could then do instead is wait for them to get within 10 feet of me, and then use the reaction to reposition, close distance with them. So that, I can't end my turn there. So I'd have to wait until they're within 5 feet of me. So when they are, I can move 10 feet, move through them for 5, deal damage as part of my reaction, and then end my turn on the other side of them, 10 feet away from where I began. And then if they were trying to dodge me, I would have stepped through their if they were trying to charge attack me, when you injured, maybe they would still be able to do that. When you end your movement, you can attack a creature within 5 feet of you. Yes, so technically they'd still be able to attack you. That's fair enough. But you could attack them first. Oh, I love that. That's cool. So that's overrun. You can move through a number of 5-foot squares occupied by creatures equal to the mana channel. Right. So if I channel 5 mana, if there's 5 creatures that I could move to during my round and not have to end my turn inside of one of them, I could deal 5d10 damage to each of them. And it would cost me 5 mana to do that this turn. Technically, if there was more targets as part of movement, I could technically channel that again. And if there was 5 creatures that were within range that weren't the same creatures, because it's still my same turn, if there was like say 10 creatures that I could get to within my movement during the round, I could potentially spend 10 mana this round to be able to mow through those 10 enemies, dealing 5d10 damage to each of them as I go. Which isn't unprecedented because we have the whirlwind attack that the monk can perform. That you can target up to 6 creatures within 30 feet of you, and each of them takes, you make an attack roll against each of them, they deal 5d10 damage. That's a good point. One power die of force damage for each mana channeled. Each can make a dex save for half damage. That actually feels fair. Because there is no resolution mechanic. It's just simply moving through them. Generally, we avoid doing that if it's damage. Damage should typically need to have an attack roll or a saving throw associated with it. So, since there is no attack roll, you gotta just move through a space, then a saving throw would be appropriate. Yeah, that feels fair. It's gonna suck at low levels, but what doesn't? It's essentially free damage. Well, I mean, it costs 1 point, but... Thinking things through. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that. Overrun. But we'll be using it at second rank, so it'll deal 2d6 damage to every target that you move through, save for half. And by the time we get up to 5th, it'll be 5d10, save for half. That feels fair. Third rank. What's a cool skirmish thing to do at third rank? Rush attack. What's that all about? When you take the dash action, the first attack you make before your next turn is rolled with advantage. And you can roll 1 power die. Oh, neat. Okay, so when you take the dash action, the first... Oh, yeah, this should be the... yeah, the saving throw. If I didn't have the saving throw, I'd consider it a dash action. I want to open that up so you can use it as a reaction. So I'm okay with that. Yeah. I think that's the right place for overrun. Yeah, rush attack isn't the right... I don't know. Is roll with advantage. You can roll 1 power die per mana spent this way, adding the highest result to the attack roll. That's essentially precise shot, except that it doesn't remove it doesn't neutralize the cover. The first attack you make before your next roll is rolled with advantage. Oh wait, precise attack second rank. Yeah, okay. I'm good with that. Rush attack's not bad. It's not great though. Opportunistic. When you make an opportunity attack, you can make the second attack against the same... Oh, opportunistic's too good. Exploit 3. Get an opportunity attack, hit him twice. That's a good skirmisher thing. Let's move into flatten, goad, rally, quick, shunt, vanish, curse, double strike. Quick utility, lethargy. Repositioning strike. Your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana channel, and you can move 10 feet per mana channeled. This movement doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. Yeah. Repositioning strike. Excuse me. God, I forgot I created that. That's fucking insane. 10 feet might actually be too much. I think we should make that 5 feet. Yeah, 10's a little sharp. Repositioning strike is STR1. For multi-attack, that's fucking fantastic. And it's a strike power, so it works. So it works with opportunity attacks. Oh god, that's so good. So I hit you with an opportunity attack. I can move 15 feet on top of it, and you can't opportunity me. So sick. God, that's so fucking sick. What else we got going? There's got to be something else going on. Ooh, Flicker Pounce. That's a really good one. That's a third rank exploit, I think. Or I mean, maneuver, third rank maneuver. There it is. Flicker Pounce. You can teleport up to 30 feet to a space within 5 feet of a creature you can see and make a weapon attack against it. If the attack succeeds, you can choose to teleport back to your original position. If the attack fails, you don't teleport the second time. That's actually a really great assassination ability too. blink in, hit you, and then you disappear again. Where'd you go? Super fun. But yeah, for a speedster, for a skirmisher, that actually makes even more sense. Flicker Pounce. I fucking love that. Excuse me while I geek out over my own stuff again. It's a maneuver, so you can use it as an action or a bonus action. You can use it twice in the same round. Blink, hit, bounce. Blink, hit, bounce out. You can do it to 2 targets or the same target twice. Love it. So fun. And I can afford up to a 4th rank sustained power at this point. So let's go down and dip into sustained powers to see if there's something fucking cool in here. We already got reposition, right? No, we took repositioning strike, not the exploit. Oh, energetic. Okay. Yeah, 10 feet of movement, 1st rank power, because it's conditional on someone doing something to you as a reaction. As opposed to you can do whatever you want whenever you hit something. That feels fair and balanced. Let's go down to, yeah, sustained powers. Cliff Runner. God, just Cliff Runner. It's just, that's a great skirmisher power. Fast. Even that's a great power. We already have abundant step, so I think that's gonna be fine. Oh, we could come back to it if we need to, but opportunist. I don't know. Opportunist. Ooh, celerity. Ghostwalker. God, that's not a bad one. A Windstrider. All these things are super good. Okay, I think it's going to be between celerity and Ghostwalker. So Ghostwalker, while sustaining this power, you become incorporeal as a translucent image of yourself, gaining resistance to non-magical blah blah blah. You can move through other creatures and objects as if they were difficult terrain. Any round you end within an object, you're ejected from the space or trained in the last position you occupy, nearest to the space, and incapacitated until the beginning of your next turn. You cannot touch objects. You cannot be heard. Force damage is effective. In addition, while sustaining this power, you can channel 2 mana as an exploit to become ethereal until the beginning of your next turn. Nope, celerity is going to win. While sustaining this power, you gain double your move speed. +2 to AC, take it. Advantage on saving throws from sources that you can see. You can make use of the... you gain a bonus you can use to make a weapon attack. You gain a 2nd bonus action to make a weapon attack, or to make a weapon attack, or to dash, dodge, or disengage. Slurry does not stack. Bam! Okay, that skirmisher is insane. Double your speed. Eventually you'll be able to then on top of it quadruple 5 times your speed, so you'll be able to ramp your speed 10 times to what it normally is. You'll be able to use you have 2 bonus actions which you can dash, dodge, and disengage with. You can move through targets and eventually be able to move through 5 separate targets, dealing 5 dice of damage to each. Save for half. Repositioning strike once per turn. When you hit, you can move 5 feet times the amount of, eventually up to 25 feet. Hypertonistic allows you to strike twice when you make an opportunity attack, thus triggering repositioning strike when you do. And then Flicker Pounce you could use as a bonus action. Instead of Rogue Stance, for instance. But yeah, you get a bonus action. Or as an action, you can Flicker Pounce, teleport to a position, hit something, and then teleport back. That would be more of a... I think this is going to be more of just like an opportunity sort of thing. Like if somebody's like if hitting them would benefit you, like would help you reposition like onto another level, like elevation or something like that, or like onto like over a cliff or something like that, Flicker Pounce can be a really great way to surprise somebody with that ability. But otherwise, this guy's a speedster with lots of maneuverability, lots of maneuverability, and eventually that damage really comes in. Yeah, this guy's cool, man. What did we have? Rogue Stance? Okay, yeah. I see you. Rush Attack. I see. We went with Overrun instead eventually. Double Strike. I understand Double Strike, but went with Opportunistic instead for the action economy. Ride the Wind eventually became what Abundant Step is now, so that's on point. And, yeah, Flicker Pounce. Cool. Okay, I'm happy. I'm happy with that alteration. How are we doing on time? I got 8 minutes left, so I think we're going to go ahead and cut it here. So I'm going to add some space here, and let's go with continue here. So when we come back, we've got soldiers and solo monsters. So, yeah, like it says here, I don't think you can just have a generic set of abilities for a solo monster. A solo monster is it's going to be like unique for each monster. So there is no generic solo kit. We'll build a solo kit. We'll build a kit for the soldier, and then we'll probably come back and play with individual monsters. We also have the magic item list up here. We could mess around with the random tables. I don't think that's really a priority right now. Just leave those be. Yeah, so on tomorrow at lunch, it'll probably be like around 2 p.m. Seattle time. I think we'll be doing that. If it's going to change, I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you guys what the actual time is going to be tomorrow morning when I'm doing my Eberron stream. But yeah, we'll finish that up. We'll finish up the monsters, and then we'll start being able to play with solo monsters updated appropriately. We may decide to change all that stuff and simplify these things. We already have that. Rimmeraz. Oh, yeah. This was our generic stat block. Each type of monster can also have unique powers as detailed below. Yeah. Good and bad refers to just generic die roll bonuses for monsters. Basically, based on their abilities, their proficiency modifier. So 14 plus 11. Yeah. So basically their good stats are like a plus 11. Their bad rolls are only a plus 6 at first rank. Their good rolls, like if it's a goblin, you would expect it to have maybe good dexterity. Maybe good intelligence, probably not, but definitely like generally they're only going to have like, okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 ranks. So generally you're going to have a number of good stats equal to their rank. Like a 5th rank creature, high CR creature, all of its stats are going to be good except for they'll have a less good. Like maybe that inevitable has low charisma because it doesn't think for itself maybe. So like all of its rolls are going to be good unless it's involved with charisma, in which case that'll be the bad one. As opposed to like the goblin only has good dexterity stats. Everything else is bad. So like that's a way that you can kind of on the fly parse out creatures without having to really think about it too much. Like if you want to give them a good armor class, then you can take 10 plus whatever their bonus is. If you just want to leave their armor class, like if you want to have a bad armor class, you can go 10 with this penalty. Like a first rank, it'd be like an armor class of 9. Like very easy to hit that monster. You can add those in if you want to. This is just a general benchmark where things are at. Saving throws, ability check bonuses, stuff like that. Damage, whatever. But yeah, just very generic, simple roll. Just to have on the fly. Like if you can't think of anything better, just use that. Yeah, okay, great. So when we come back, we'll do the soldier, and then we'll work on some unique monster options. And we'll consider those to be like solo monsters or like different things that creature can do from that perspective. So that's it for now. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll continue working on Eberron page art. And I'll see you guys when I get to. Later.